So you've been on a journey, which I'm sure is scary and exciting. Uh, Building a business on the side and working towards leaving your stable job you've had for how many years now?
This year will be 17 at the same job. I
That's
started
crazy.
in October 2009.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been a long time, like a really long time.
And you texted me not long ago, it was like last week that you're like, I'm getting ready to leave next month and do this full time. And I've been watching you. How many years have you been smoking meat and like learning barbecue now?
Um, a handful of years prior to having a proper offset and doing genuine, like, live fire cooking, with Weber kettles, just like that classic old school, like the dome-shaped grills that you see
Yeah.
what Mr. Wilson had that the paint came over the fence and landed on the chicken
Oh, yeah, yeah.
in Dennis Cement.
I haven't seen that
It's
forever.
like the most versatile. I tried to push one on Rob the other day. I was telling him because he was asking me about, like, cooking something, and I was like, "Dude, you need a kettle.
Yeah.
Like, don't
You
buy
using
one of the."
pellets for that?
No, just charcoal.
Okay.
Charcoal, and if you wanna smoke stuff, you use, like, wood chunks,
Oh,
like small bags of kiln-dried wood.
yeah.
But, like, you can do anything on them. Um, you see, it's just all in how you put the coals. Like, if you spread them out evenly and the coals are all hot, that's for, like, burgers and hot dogs or whatever. If you wanna smoke stuff, you put the coals on one side, you put the meat on the other side,
Yeah.
and then it creates, like, a convection, and you put little wood chunks on there, and that's, I'd say, like, 20. Let's see, we were still in the old house in Sharon, probably 2018, 2017 at the earliest.
I thought I
I got
remembered
one of those.
still living in California and you telling me about it, like, doing the old guy thing, and it's like, it's either learn smoking meats
The
or craft
cliches for
beer or
sure.
whatever. But
What was it like? You either get really into World War II or you start smoking meats.
But I was like, "That's perfect, for him. I could totally see you doing it." And I didn't expect you to get this into it, and then here you are, like, coming up with business names, you're doing catering, you're having so many orders you can't keep up, and, like, that's a problem every business, like, kills to have, which just kinda when you have something people want, which your shit is so fucking good. Like,
Eh,
I lived in Texas for 7 years and had all the places, and
You lived in like the mecca of barbecue.
yeah, I had Franklin and La Barbecue and, like, every fucking place down the street, so I had it often, and, those were obviously the best. Like, Franklin was always my favorite, but I had yours that first time once you, like, really got good at it, and I was like, "Dude, this is fucking, like, right up there with it," and, uh, it's cool to talk about it now because when you hear from people chasing a venture or starting new business on a podcast, usually it's like after they've already done it and made it. You're like, well, let me tell you when I started and I left my job. It's like you're in the middle of it, like still at your job, about to leave. Things are going really well. So that's like you always hear about the success story, never the in the middle of the process.
It's right now is like it's realer than it's ever been to where because I'm famous for always just dreaming out loud and running my mouth. And, you get like an endorphin rush about when you talk about plans in the future and what you're gonna do. But it's then very easy to then not follow through with that. And I started just taking the next small step and just trying to do something daily to get towards what I'm always running my mouth about doing. Yeah, the catering thing got to where it was like 11 weeks in a row where I didn't have a weekend off. Still working 40 plus hours a week. And then it would just be like a marathon over the weekend.
Shit.
And um,
Yeah, when you told
Kathy and
me,
I
"I'm not gonna take any orders this week and I need a break," I was like, "Fuck yeah, it's a great problem to have."
Yeah, yeah, Kathy and I, like, just it's been so fun, and we've dreamt of it, like, she, bless her heart, fully buys in to this dream and believes in it. Normally, it would be, the dreamer versus the practical one that's like, "Hey, you need to calm down. The days of
Yeah,
the days of dreaming and the days of rolling the dice are over," and I said that for years. I said that numerous times. I was like, "My window for taking the risk," 'cause what do all successful business folks say is that the hardest part was taking that initial risk
yeah,
and that initial dive, leaving the secure thing, and
and the older you get and you have a family, it starts to
yeah,
they shrink
I
and feel
said
like,
so many
"Okay."
times that window is closed now that I have kids. It doesn't matter what I dream about doing anymore. Now I need to just do the safe thing, and this is organically turning into an avid like a fork in the road where I'm too busy doing both, and when I, like, look at both options, either staying with the secure job or taking the risk and gambling on myself with something that I really believe in, it's like, "Okay, the safe route, let's picture 5 years out." I know exactly what that looks like,
Mhm.
and I have a great job, I work for a great company, but it's the permanent carrot on a stick. It'll it w Kathy and I talked about it so many times, I'm like, "We'll still pretty much be right where we are right now."
Yeah,
And we're happy. I don't need wealth. I don't need, like, a ton of money. If I can do barbecue professionally and my income stays the same, but I'm doing that,
yeah.
I'm in a place where to me that's success.
Fuck yeah. That's a massive win to just switch to doing something you want where you're in control, you have the freedom, and you manage it, and you can grow it exponentially, sky's the limit.
The right. The best part about stepping into this and being, you know, my own boss is like at my job I'll make the same no matter how hard I choose to
Yeah,
work. But if you're doing that, you know, working for yourself, then like you said, like the sky's the limit. Like
yeah,
it's still is America. So like money can kind of fall from the sky if you're willing to
yeah.
invest in yourself and
And
you know,
sometimes it takes a while in life, like, you feel like you're late, but you didn't find a thing yet, you know?
the all the like Gary V memes and things about like, 40 ain't shit. Like you haven't even started and the statistics around first time entrepreneurs being like 41, 42, and things like that. Like I'm 41.
Yeah.
The timing's just funny. But
There's a certain level of maturity I feel like I've watched everybody reach at 40. Like, we thought 30s were old when we were in our 20s, and you hit 30s, and it was like, I feel older, but I still feel kinda like a kid. And then, like, near the mid to late 30s, I started feeling a shift, and then now you kinda I don't know, it just feels kinda the same for everyone, 39, 40, 41, maybe tried the thing, make the change in your life, or even if it's just like, let me stop drinking and be healthier or work out for it's like everyone kind of there's a different level of maturity that seems to happen around then. Maybe it's because 50's coming and that's like actually old. I don't know, but
you just start, I don't know. I feel like you just kind of start to feel the desire to kind of invest in yourself a little more. All the stuff, what like you said, like getting fit or, the those little things that you always talk about at some point doing but never really apply yourself to. And then the maturity, dare I say,
yeah,
of like it's a choice. And like what's the cliche? It was one of the things that made me just kind of say to Kathy, I'm like, I couldn't be more serious now. Was like what you what you're unwilling to what you're unwilling to change is what you choose. something like that, and it just kinda 'cause I've like I said, I love the people that I work for, and I'm grateful for that job, but, like, it does not give me any
Yeah.
my soul isn't fed doing what I do.
Yeah, it's not fulfilling.
No,
It's like it gets you
and
the paycheck and the health insurance and the stability, and it feels safe, but, like, you're not going there to do something you love doing every day.
we're, like, blessed and cursed in that you and I, from not long after high school, got to find out what it was like doing something that, like, your soul got fed
Yep.
doing. When the band stopped and I started working for a living, I was making so much more money than we ever did in the band, but I was rich in pride then, and I felt that, like, distinct difference.
Yep. Yeah, that was we kind of did everything I ever wanted to do, and getting rich was not really part of that.
No,
Uh,
no, that
it was just like we always said, like, "Let's get it if we can get in a van and go across the country and play our music for people and, like, just be in some other city one day and, like, realize we did it."
yeah,
It's like we did it so many times. So
yeah.
I kinda, like, after the band was done, I didn't know what to fucking do. Like, I know we all didn't, but it was like it was a real shock, and I felt like I just don't kinda care what happens from here on out because I already did the thing, and I never found anything else that makes me feel like that still to this day. It's such a special thing.
Yeah, it really was. When you peak when you're 20.
Yeah, I was like, "Shit, did I peak when I was
So
22 on the road?"
so that the perception around it shift because when we were young and pre-internet having a lot of influence, and it was like what we saw was the arena and stadium filling juggernaut bands where
Yeah,
you loved it, you followed it, you were obsessed with it, but that was a fantasy. That was ungraspable.
yeah,
And then I remember the distinct shift of the first Hellfest VHS tape that somebody had. I don't remember where we watched it. It might like one of the old places Rob used to rent or something. Maybe like when he and Fellinger lived together.
yeah, I think you're right.
And it was like a small club, but there were maybe 300 or 400 people in a crowd that could not have been more passionate about the music that was being played. And I was like, that was the first time I related to it and saw it as something that was like within reach or
Mm,
attainable. And I was like, that's more than enough.
yeah.
Seeing like the Poison the Well artist rendition pile on around the God.
Yeah, you never saw anything like
No,
that.
no, never in a million years. But it was like watching Corn Arena Pro Shot footage and then seeing a stage get overrun by kids all dying to scream into the microphone.
Yeah, and you're allowed to do that, you're encouraged to do that, you feel like you're part of a fucking, I don't know, family, whatever, like, you felt like you could belong there,
Yeah. It's
and
like that
everyone was
is,
part of the whole thing,
I was
not just
like,
the band on stage you stare at.
that didn't even feel like something that I was willing to settle for. I was like, that's all I want.
Yeah,
And the traveling I didn't expect. Like I it's almost a shame to have been wasted on youth. Like everywhere we went and you didn't know any different. You didn't realize how rare it was, so like taking it for granted was almost impossible to avoid doing.
yeah, you're dumb when you're young.
Different city every day, like places I would kill to just be able to like wake up in and spend a day.
Mm.
But like
We didn't have much time either,
no, you never did.
but, like, yeah, I didn't have the appreciation for, like, let me go to these old cities that have been here way longer than America,
Yeah.
and, like, explore this, like, ancient fucking history and the culture and whatever, but I think having all those experiences when we then leave that life and go out in the world and go, "Well, we gotta figure this shit out," and, like, that's what makes when you finally have your own thing again, it's the closest you're gonna get to that feeling of, like, that was our business, that was our life, we decided everything, except if you have a label or whatever, we didn't really have much oversight, but, Like, you can do anything how you want. The logo, the name, it's like there's so many
And
similarities. It's like,
like deep similarities, the hardest thing is the damn name.
yeah.
I hounded and annoyed Kathy with so many different variations. I settled and texted people telling them, "This is it."
Yeah, you told me a couple.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Those aren't bad." Like, they're all bad until you just do it, and then it just makes it. The brisket's gonna make it.
So again, Rob and I even talked about this. I was like, it's like the part in Who Then Now when they're talking about the name Corn, and David said to me, it kind of means it doesn't matter what your band is called because this is objectively a dumb name.
Yeah.
But once people get familiar with the music and the band becomes established,
Yeah.
it like puts credibility on the name.
Yeah, then it just becomes a sound that comes out of your mouth that means all that.
Y-
The music, the visual, the logo, like, whatever. Uh,
But I said it today that the satisfaction and fulfillment that I got from the days in the band, feeding people and getting the reaction of people genuinely
and
reacting in a way that is like, this is the best this I've ever had. Like,
think about that.
that's it like, it has the same effect on me of feeling really good about it, feeling like it was all worth it, the hours doing it, and, like,
Created this with passion.
it means so much to me for some reason, and it's like, Kathy's told me that that's like my love language at home. It's like I'd feed everybody and it's just what I enjoy doing, but for some reason, this niche of barbecue, and for whatever reason, needing to find out what doing it the hardest possible way would be like.
Yeah. I wanna talk to you about the process of it, because other than putting wood in smoke and put the meat in there, I don't really know the finesse of, like, how long you let things go, how hot it's gotta be. Does the temperature outside, do you have to, like, when you're sitting outside in the winter smoking meat, is that different than in the summer? Does it affect it that much, or
So, good question. Um, Dependent on the cooker. So my first one, it was the firebox was made out of a 24-inch, 3/8 thick steel pipe, and that was the outside wall of it. So in the winter, I would go through more wood than in the summer. It's a big, thick metal implement that's like it's wanting to cool down. In the winter, it's like you're constantly putting ice on it.
right?
So it's harder to keep it up at temperature. But my new cooker has what's called a fully insulated firebox. So that pipe, this one is now it's a 33-inch pipe, so the firebox is massive. But it is fully insulated. There's a steel box built around it. People think that like the square on the end that they know is the firebox is just this hollow thing. There's a pipe inside of that that is like packed with fireproof insulation.
That's cool.
And the door is even insulated. So when the fire is going and I close down that door, that fire has no idea it's cold outside.
That's great. So that does that dude specifically just build those? Or
No, he built. I'll show you his stuff. He builds. Shout out to Chad Rada at Woodfire Smokers. He builds the highest quality. One of the things that he's known for is it's called a Santa Maria grill. Have you ever seen the kind of direct heat grills where controlling the intensity of the heat is done by like turning a crank and it lifts the grate?
I think I've seen
You can like
yeah,
get it closer to the fire to sear stuff or bring it up higher to let it, you know,
yeah.
have less intense heat on it. He builds really high-end fancy those. I found him just because it was like a marketplace listing of one of his smaller smokers, and it was built properly. There's all kinds of stuff you can get into about companies that sell offset smokers that they're not designed to work well.
Mhm.
It's just to qualify as being like there's a whole thing about you have your fire here and the smokestack on the other side creates a vacuum. It's almost like a straw that you're pulling on that pulls the smoke through.
Yeah.
You can't push it. It has to be pulled through. So it's like you couldn't put a fan on the opposite end of the fire and push the smoke through the cooker. It
Right.
doesn't behave
So
like
the
that.
heat rising creates the
Correct.
vacuum.
It comes into the cook chamber and it spirals and it's almost like a tornado. And then it goes up um the smokestack similarly. It's rotating the whole time. So you need the smoke to come across your food. And there are all these cookers at big box stores and Home Depots and whatever where firebox over here, your meat's gonna be right here, but then like the smokestack will be like in the middle, but on the back or something odd,
Mm,
and the smoke's gonna get pulled straight to that. So like some of these are designed with no thought for bringing it to and across the food that you're trying to cook.
right.
Aaron Franklin, I could be out of pocket on this, but I'm pretty sure he can see the idea that has become the way all cookers are pretty much built, which is you have your grate level where the meat sits, and then on the smokestack, he designed this thing called a collector. So it comes out as like a V shape at the grate level, and then the smokestack comes off of that. So, like I said, almost like you're sucking on a straw, the smoke is being pulled directly across at grate level where the food is going to be, and then straight out.
And your job is to basically maintain the correct temperature the entire time?
You try to, so you can never like. I feel like anybody that swears they can perfectly maintain an exact temperature is full of shit. Um, Learning to not be so overly critical about a little because a fire is going to do what it does, and trying to fight it, you'll be miserable. Um,
Yeah, I mean, outside of the thing you're cooking in, it's a very primitive way of doing things. So
there's
to pretend you can be so precise, yeah.
it's so cool because there's nothing that can break. There's no electronic implement. There's nothing that it's just here's where the fire sits, the meat goes in the middle, and then over here is where it's drawing everything.
Right.
So it's simple things like uh consistent size of wood splits that you're putting in. Like if you put a piece of wood in when the temp starts to go down and it's like in like an average size, and then 10 minutes later when it starts to go down again, you put one in that's like twice as heavy and twice as big. Like once that fully catches, that's going to create way more heat. So it's like the kind of common sense things that seem,
Right.
I don't know, confusing when you haven't done it, but I had that first cooker built fully aware. I was like, this might be too hard, and I'm just gonna I could be bested by it and just give up.
Right.
And I didn't. I ended up not finding it that hard, like from the jump. I've gotten significantly better, but I didn't ruin anything
Right. Yeah.
on it.
I
Um,
assume, like, anything that's hard and you're coming at it brand new without someone teaching you, like, it's just a lot of trial and error and
yeah.
a lot of, like did you have a lot of bad meat that came out first in the beginning or kinda
No,
like
I mean on the kettles, sure. Because when you don't know what you don't know, you kind of people will say temperatures and times on YouTube videos, and you think that that's like some kind of gospel
Mm.
that like has to be maintained. And cooking is the opposite of that. Like being super rigid, it's necessary for certain things. If you're baking or something like that, like you need ratios and bread and whatever. Like that's not just a
Yeah.
pinch and a whatever.
There's
Like
kind of a science
there
to
are
that,
things to
yeah.
respect about that, but I think barbecue is simple. It's just the difficulty is the commitment to the cook because doing it in a traditional offset where you're adding logs every 20 minutes. Um, and say when I'm doing like tomorrow, I'm making a handful of briskets, pork butts, ribs, and these are for numerous different people. The briskets are gonna go on at 4 in the morning. I will be tending the fire every 20 to 30 minutes until they're done, whenever they decide they're done. There's no internal temp that you say, "Ah, done." Um,
How many hours on average would you say you're sitting out there? I know it depends on the meat probably.
so in the dead of winter, I come inside a lot more often. I will have just like a 20-minute timer constantly cycling,
Mm.
and it goes off. I come back out and check, and I've gotten comfortable enough. The first like 6 months, I was like chained to it and staring at the temp gauge, and I was overdoing it, and I was exhausting myself. It's not that hard,
Yeah.
especially with the new cooker with the insulated box. The fire is so consistent that it's simplified things, and I'm adding wood less often because it's not burning through it as much. It just like sips on it. It's awesome. But I don't remember the question.
I don't either. But
I think you said how long?
oh yeah, how long are you sitting out there usually? Like for if
Yeah.
you start at 4, like when are you done on average?
So obviously you don't have to put them on that early, but with kids, I've gotten to the place where I much prefer being wrapped up and done in the early evening than getting plenty of sleep, starting the fire at 7, because then that means because on average 12 to 14 hours for
Yeah.
brisket, and some no two behave the same. I've had briskets be done in like 8 hours, and I'm just like, you shouldn't be anywhere near done yet, but you're probing it, and when the temp probe goes in, the needle goes in, and it almost has no resistance, almost like room temperature butter, like a stick of butter or something. That's that's the brisket being done. I stopped going by internal temp. I stopped going by, well, it hasn't been in, it says it's supposed to be X amount of hours. It'll tell you when it's done. And those are the things you get. I stopped leaving an internal probe in and like watching a digital thing and like
Yeah.
you
You found
just
your own groove and way to
I like it's more intuitive, but it's like foolproof.
yeah.
Because if there were times I pulled a brisket because it said it was at the temperature. And then when I sliced it later, I was like, this isn't tender enough. Meaning like I was probably an hour or two too early taking it off.
Mm.
Because the brisket's made of two different muscles. There's the point and the flat. The point is the fatty end piece where the burn ends are, the unctuous, like the best slices. And then the lean is almost, it's a lot leaner. And that's the last part that's done. It's tougher the longest. The point will be soft a few hours before the lean gets there.
Right.
That's what you wait on, is for that to feel like the other side of it. It sounds weird, but um and no two behave the same. Some could go 16 hours. You have to carve out the time. That's one of the main things I learned was I no longer tried to go like, all right, well, I'm going to start it and it has to be done by whatever.
Yeah.
I've in Northeast Ohio gone so far down the rabbit hole of like, so how do the Michelin star Central Texas people, what are their systems? Everything that they're cutting and serving at those restaurants, they cooked the day before. Unless it's like chicken, something that's like a hot, fast cook. Like you can't hot hold chicken; it like gets rubbery.
Yeah.
But brisket and pork, sometimes ribs you could do the same day. But like, specifically like briskets, the stuff they're cutting was cooked the day before, and the magic of it is like you cook it the day before. You have that whole day to where it's like there's no deadline to get to, and then once you pull them, they're up over 200 degrees, and you need to let them cool for, like, multiple hours
Mm.
down to, like, a slicing temperature of, like, 150. You could slice it then, and it'll be good. It'll be really good. But what those places do and what I don't wanna say Franklin, like, invented that part, but, what places have learned is the, like, chef's kiss final step is once it's cooled down to that temperature, you then wrap it, and then you do what's called a hot hold. Um,
That was my next question.
it's like an oven that doesn't go really hot. It's I got us, like, a commercial size one that's currently in our living room. It's so ridiculous. It's a big stainless, like, 16 shelf warmer. It cooks any or it holds anywhere from, I think, like, 110 to, like, 180.
And do you never want it to let it cool off completely from being cooked to when you cut it? Is that the key, keeping it hot the entire
You
time?
let it rest down to 150, and then I wrap it, add some tallow. I, like, set it on fresh tallow that I render myself, wrap it, and then put it in a heated oven that is at 150, and then it just sustains at
Mhm.
that exact temperature, and that is the, like, whoever figured it out, but it's what everybody now does. It's like the final step that the last remaining bits of collagen and fat that need to render, the stuff that just creates that, like, melt in your mouth
Yeah.
meat candy thing, that's kinda where it happens. And the single biggest improvement I saw in my barbecue was once I invested in one of those, and it's just incredible. So it's like, tomorrow, the hope is I'm done by, like, 6, let them rest, and then once they're back down to 150, the final step is just wrap them, set them in that oven at that temperature, and that's where they'll stay overnight until
Would you say that step is like, if there was one like secret to good brisket, that's the key, doing
that
that properly?
yeah, it's far from a secret anymore, but it's definitely overlooked in, like, the home setting. People
Because how
y
many people are
you
gonna
know, they
buy
say
those?
with they say with, like, a steak, like, if you take a steak right off the pan and while it's still piping hot, if you cut it, the juices just pour out immediately and it'll end up being dry. You wanna rest a steak as long as you cooked it is kinda the rule of thumb.
Yeah, I learned that way late.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Briskets get better the longer they rest. You can wait an hour and slice it, and it'll still be delicious if you cooked it tender, but I'll never not overnight rest one again. Like, it's just
Was that in his master class? I know you told me you took that.
not in his master class, no, not in the Franklin one. It's just, the amount of content around Central Texas barbecue, these long form videos, like, I'll give you the link to the channel. There's this guy, what's it called? Ants Barbecue, ANT. He goes and, like, embeds at all these restaurants and will spend days there filming footage, interviewing everybody that works there, and he creates these, like, 20 to 40-minute, like, mini movies on all these places, all the Texas Monthly top 10, top 50 places,
Mhm.
and it's part of what inspired me to be like, "I can do this because so many of these, like, owners' stories were, like, I had I had a really good job, and I just wasn't happy, and this really made me happy, and
Yeah.
it was hard, and it's hard every day, but I it's the best decision I ever made, like, that kinda stuff, and I would just kinda sit there and be like, why do I just always assume that none of this can apply
Yeah.
to me? Like, why not me at this point?" And, um,
It's easy. I don't know if it's an Ohio thing, like, a lot of people, like,
we're very cynical.
very cynical, very like, "I can't do that. That's
It's
for other people. Other people are rich. You know."
I didn't know our area was like that until Will joined the band, and
Yeah, he would bring that
he
up a
would
lot.
articulate to me, he'd be like, it's different, and I'm learning to get used to it." We would he was so sweet, and we would, like, go to the parties, and everybody would just exclusively just verbally assault one another, and it's always how we all bonded,
Yeah.
and, um, especially if somebody talked about something that they cared about, that they were really
Yeah,
trying.
anything serious. So get the fuck out of here, loser.
And then you take a trip down to North Carolina and spend a day or 2 with Will and his friends, and they are these, like, positive, uplifting, supportive,
Yeah.
empathetic.
I think the
And I'm just
weather
like, "Wow, we have, like, a social sickness that none of us see here." And
I think it's the weather and, like, the fact that, like, nothing much goes on. Like, if you're gonna be here and do your own thing, you gotta create it like that. And you're not gonna find a good job. Like, there's nothing going on in Youngstown. You gotta go to Cleveland or Pittsburgh for the closest bigger cities, and most people, that do labor, blue collar jobs, they just kinda get stuck in that, and then we got lucky in that we tried something and we were really passionate and it took us places. So we got to see other places, and that's kind of what sparked that kind of like spirit in me of just like just try shit, cuz like you already did just try shit. Always had imposter syndrome as a guitarist, so like why not do with everything else, and the being confident enough to just go, I'm just going to move and just who cares? I'll just fail and come back. What's the worst that could happen? So like, and we go all these places. I'm like, "Do people actually live here? It's
right?
fucking awesome here.
Like,
There's a beach right there.
Denver, and it's like, "Man."
Yeah, it's like gorgeous. The mountains and like red rocks. We're walking around like when there was no concert and it was just closed. I was just like, there's so many cool places and like you can do shit. You can just do shit. So I don't know that I think that helped us, and like Rob's got a business, Joe's got a business, you're starting a business. Like,
That was the other thing was I, like, was keenly aware, I'm like, I need to let go of the thought that it's not possible because out of the 5 of us in that van, I'm, like, the only one that isn't a self-made, like, self-employed person.
yeah,
So, who am I lying to by saying, like, it's not possible? And none of this is meant as some, like, grand ambition, but it's I did the hourly thing, and I did it for a very long time, and it did it helped me support a family
yeah. I
and
mean, there's
and all that stuff, but it was also partially just I hadn't found the next thing that meant that's that much to me.
yeah,
Like, I really hadn't, and this evolved into a passion. It was unlikely, I didn't know it. It just kinda snuck up on me and started to turn into this thing where every time I would make food for someone's private event, that I would be, like, high for a week off of that night and the experience, and people just being like, "Oh my god," and,
mm,
'cause it's not unique what I'm doing, but in Northeast Ohio, no one's making barbecue the traditional hard way. It's and I get it, but it's like electric rotisserie gas assist type things, and it's not much of opinion, it's an objective reality that you get a different result,
yeah,
and I think I took notice and trust in why like, all of the world famous barbecue places are all in Texas, and what are they doing? They're all doing
mm,
this same thing, like, there's no secret to it.
yeah,
It's just hard, and that's what I love about that stuff is it's not people protecting recipes or wanting to not share,
yeah,
like magicians, like, wanting to, like, hide the prestige of their tricks and all that stuff. Barbecue people will let cameras in, show you absolutely everything they do,
yeah,
and then just kinda be like, "Good luck,"
yeah. It's this reminds me a lot of like one of my things I found was like trading and getting into the markets and stuff. And
which is so above and beyond my head.
oh, me too. Still, I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but like, uh, day trading specifically is the hardest fucking thing ever, and I've been doing that for 9 years. I quit 800 times. I broke a laptop. came back, I went
Like,
into
rage broke it,
oh,
or
yeah, it's like, I straight up and it was an old free one I got from work, but, like, I'd put in years of watching all the YouTube videos, learning on my own. I joined a classroom and was, like, getting tutored by, like, a teacher every single day. And then, like, you watch it work for other people and not for you, and then you have a good week and then a bad week, and you're like, "Okay, I'm kinda starting to get it." And, like, when you're starting anything in the beginning, you have that excuse of, "Oh, I'm new, it's okay for it to go bad." After a certain amount of years, then that starts to eat at you, go, "Maybe I can't fucking do this." And me, I get really angry, I don't know, insecurity for whatever reason, how I grew up, whatever, I get really fucking pissed, and specifically trading. And you know me, most of my life, I'm pretty even keel and a chill guy about everything. For some reason,
you're notorious for being almost impossible to piss off.
yeah,
People were never, like, trying to piss you off, but, like,
I was known as the guy who doesn't care about anything. And I have "Who gives a shit" tattooed on my leg. But for some reason, this made me so angry. And a lot of the things you're saying about that is like, it's simple. You're sitting there, you're looking at a chart, you're clicking buttons, you're watching things go up and down. There's only two directions they can go. There's only two outcomes, win or lose. And it's so simple, but it's not easy. And it's something that would take you 5 years, 8 years of experience to, like, even start to, like, be able to make money all the time and turn a computer into, like, an ATM. And that was always my dream because I wanted to work alone, have my own thing, but I didn't wanna have employees. I didn't really wanna deal with, like, a business. I've always been a computer guy. I was like, "This just fits into me. I don't have to have a boss, coworkers, anything." And like that, like, with your thing, the sitting there all day, getting up at 4 in the morning. It might be simple, you're just putting wood in a thing and making sure it stays a temperature as best you can. Most people aren't gonna do that. They might do it for a weekend and then go, "Fuck this."
and there's, like, guys that I work with that are trying with, like, their cookers and whatever, like, the fear of like, a brisket's a gamble because it's not cheap,
Yeah.
and
You think about that, yeah.
I bought 3 yesterday, the cheapest one was $97,
Holy fuck.
and
How much weight is it?
the biggest one cost 115,
Damn.
and that's just the raw brisket.
How many pounds?
I think the biggest of the 3 was, like, a monster. I think it was a little over 20, but, like, 18-ish, 17 is kinda the average. I I've learned to get the biggest ones I can. The middle of the week butcher guy sees me coming, and he's like, because I've learned to not just accept. I'm super friendly about it, and we had one awkward interaction where he was I don't it must have just been a hard night, and the last thing he wanted was for somebody to be picky, but, like, the briskets that were out were not good enough.
Yeah.
There were either gouges in one side or the lean was way too lean, and, like, when something's really thin, it's not gonna survive that long of a cook,
Yeah.
and I had already learned, like, I'm gonna have to trim so much of this off that I won't feel good charging what I charge for it if I'm giving some, because it's gonna get even smaller when you cook it.
Right, right.
You buy it, you trim it, and you take pounds of it off, and then when it cooks, it shrinks even more because a lot of moisture will come out, fat renders. It loses weight the whole time,
Yeah.
and then what you're left with, like, you want to be as big as it can be.
See, those are little nuances, like, you care. You know what you're looking for now. Like, when you first started, you probably would've just bought any of those, and now you know
And I
exactly.
did. I did all that for just us at home forever, and what I want to feed people is that, like, brain melting bite of brisket,
Yeah.
and it turns out that it needs to be prime beef, the most expensive, like, you can go up to, like, Wagyu and stuff like that. There's a place in Champion that is a, like, specific Wagyu butcher shop. I think their prices are I don't know, but I wouldn't be able to
Yeah, to have a
I
margin.
wouldn't be able to I would have to charge so much that I wouldn't feel comfortable doing.
Maybe you could add a tier later that's more expensive and go.
Certainly, I mean, if somebody requested and they were like, "I want the I want a Wagyu one."
I'm like,
And I'd be like, "Okay, well, just so you understand,
mm,
it's gonna by default have to be much more."
yeah.
But, like,
Someone will want that.
prime is like $6 a pound. There's prime, choice, and then select.
Yeah.
Select is and all that means is fat, how much internal fat, like how much marbling it has. So on the lowest end, that's like little to no fat. It's gonna be dry. It's not. I've tried those. I did those at home a bunch, and it's worth paying the extra couple bucks per pound
Yeah.
for something that's got great fat marbling because it's just you just have to.
See, there's like most brisket, if it's done half decent, it's like this is pretty good. But you can tell there's that level when you cross that, you're doing all those things right. It is like immaculate and it melts in your
There's
mouth.
nothing like it.
Kind of
It's
like,
I can't eat a lot of it. It's one of those things that you hit a wall
yeah,
fast because it's
so
so
rich.
rich, so fatty, but it's my favorite bite of food on earth.
Oh, me too. Dude, there's so many places obviously in Texas and in Austin and around Austin that serve brisket. And most of it, like you have your top tier, and then you have most of them that's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then there was only one time I had complete shit fucking brisket. And it was so like insulting because it's like all these other places, even if they're not the best, it's like it's pretty good. And we went to this.
And that's kinda what people expect as the standard for, like,
Mm,
Ohio barbecue. It's like ribs, yeah, okay, just bury it in sauces and ribs. Well, it's
yeah.
not bad. Like, remember growing up, do you remember Damon's? The, like,
Yes. We went there for WrestleMania 15,
baby back
Stone
ri
Cold versus Rock.
baby back ribs just swimming in sauce,
Mm,
and they were probably, like, boiled or, like, cooked in an oven.
yeah, I was like, oh, this is so good.
Right, right, and I there is like an empty space in this area that if I feel like if I get beat to, I'll just
Yeah.
I'll never survive it.
Well, you're getting the word out, that's for sure. What
Try
what are people ordering from you the most so far? Brisket? Ribs?
um definitely definitely brisket. It all depends on what someone's well, you know, budget is. It all kind of started with Rob asking me if I could provide the food every year he does a like belt promotion at Leverage where the people that are, ready for their next belt, he makes this wonderful ceremony out of it. Everybody shows up and wears their gi and
It's leverage Brazilian jiu-jitsu for anyone listening.
shout out Bobby. Uh and he will have a like sincere story about each person as they get because it's like they've invested so much time and grown so much and it's a significant thing because you really earn those. And he always hosts a after party afterwards, and it would always be at Nova, the downtown coffee place that just closed.
Yeah, what the fuck? I saw that. It's a bummer.
John's one of the best dudes in the whole world. Um, and he would always host it there. Nova's a coffee house, so they would close at like 2 p.m. So in the evening, it would be like a party there, but just a private party. The place wouldn't be open. And he'd have 50, 60 people and used to do just kinda like finger food stuff, and a few years ago, he's like, "Can you do barbecue for it, like, that many people?" And it wasn't a few years ago, it would've been this past year because it was um, the first cooker I had Chad built.
Mhm.
And I was like, I think so. Yeah, let me try." And it was, I think we did, like, 2 briskets, 2 pork butts, and then the next day, I did chicken, like, the day of, and brought it all. And it went great, it was super fun. And it just kinda kept going up each time, like, we would add food, and I just kind of, like, refined it as we would do that, but I got customers from doing that, people at like, I did a baby shower for somebody from Leverage, um, all kinds of, like, private parties that people do,
Yeah.
health department stuff, like, if you're somebody that cooks food and somebody asks you to do a thing for their party, there's no, like permitting or anything associated with something like that.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, dude, when people taste that fucking brisket, especially living here. If you've never had that, like, that is gonna spread like wildfire through word of mouth, and clearly that's what happened.
That's the hope.
Because the first time I put Franklin brisket in my mouth when I moved to Texas.
I still haven't had it. Like, it's the pilgrimage I need to make at some point. I've talked to Kathy about it so many times. I'm like, I wanna go for, like, a long weekend
Yeah,
and
just
go
go
to, like,
everywhere.
2 or 3 of the
Terry
places.
Blacks.
I I ordered a shirt from Franklin, and I guess didn't notice the window, or I don't know what I was thinking, but I ordered a small. So I got Kathy a Franklin shirt, essentially. I was like,
Oh.
"Yeah," it came, and I was like, "Oh."
I don't know if I ever if we maybe on tour we did and I forgot about it, but, like, I don't ever remember having real Texas barbecue that was that good, and then
The only barbecue experience as a band I remember us having was in Syracuse when we would go to Dinosaur
yeah.
at Jocko's, and I'd love to go back to that place now,
Mhm.
being, like, immersed in all of
I
it.
don't remember what we got there. I feel like I got ribs there.
Um, I remember getting something called the big ass pork plate, and it would
Oh,
be like a
yeah.
pile of pulled pork and sides.
Yeah, I don't
And
think we
like
got
I
brisket.
remember loving the vibe of that place. Super like punk rock, but like
Yeah, it was cool.
cafeteria style where you go through the whole
It was the
thing.
one place we left the entire time in that middle of winter because it was January, it was miserable.
Yeah.
But it was like, when I lived in LA, we had one barbecue place that everybody talked about, and it was like, eh. Um,
LA's like that. I mean, that's where you want Mexican food.
yeah, Mexican
You want
food. There's
tacos.
some great burgers there, tacos, sushi. But when I moved to Texas, it just happened to be the first weekend we moved there, we knew this one guy named Parth, Indian dude, funny as fuck. I love this guy. He was a partier and he would wear like American flag pants at the pool and fucking run around with just a case of beer under his arm. Just the life of the party type guy. I think it was his birthday or someone's birthday, and he was like one of the few people we knew there. And he was like, "It's your first weekend. Come to this birthday party." And they had it catered by Franklin. And I didn't really put it together. It's like, this is the best barbecue place in ever. So I go in, they're like, "Here, grab some brisket," and I put it in my mouth, and it's like that magic moment, the first time you have a bite of, like, a burnt end or a brisket that just melts, you're like, "Oh, this is what it's supposed to be. This is what it's about."
So he is like I mean, barbecue's been around for a lot longer than him, obviously,
Caveman.
but he's almost I don't think it's an exaggeration to say he's kinda like the Beatles of what modern barbecue is, where so many of the things that he kind of figured out on his own have become the standards that all craft barbecue places
Mm,
use today. Like, the thing I talked about with the design of the
yeah,
smokestack side pulling the meat out at great level. Across the board, all these massive manufacturers, that's the only way they're made now. It's become the new standard. It's like the wheel or
what
something.
a gangster.
Um, the super tender brisket, he found that by accident, or so his legend claims. Was like he was just
Did his parents start that and he kind of
no. So his parents had a barbecue place when he was little. He talks about it in the masterclass thing. Like at the end, there's this awesome like mini movie chapter that's just like
mm.
talking about when he was a kid, and he was a dude in a band, did the whole touring thing,
Oh,
and
no
they didn't
shit.
make any money, and they were just in vans and just,
Weird.
living off of gas station food, and then when he finally settled, he's like, "I'm a guy with a house in Texas, I have to get a smoker,"
Yeah.
and, you know, but, it's there are places that now I know make better barbecue, but he's kind of the origin of, like, modern barbecue. It's like post Franklin barbecue in a
Yeah.
sense. Like a lot of the people that own places that are now ranked higher than Franklin, a lot of them have like owners that were like, I worked there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like it's not all directly because of that dude, but to me, it's like he's a guy I'd love to meet one day.
Right.
But yeah, like that's where I learned a lot, and he's super detail oriented more than what my style kind of is at this point. Like I'm not as um I've seen things turn out really well by not going exactly the way he would claim something needs to. So it's like certain things don't really serve me in terms of being hyper vigilant about.
Right.
He claims to want to try to keep a temp within like 5 degrees. And when it's a fire that you have to allow to just be a fire, like sometimes it'll swing a little bit. If I can stay inside of like 25 degrees and it can kind of swing up and down, like
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. 5 degrees would drive me insane.
Yeah, that seems intense.
But like,
But you'll figure out your own way, and it's like years. Imagine another 5 years from now, how much you'll learn from doing it your own way, and the changes you'll make, and little tweaks and things that you figure out.
and I'm just finding the simpler the simpler ways of doing it are the best, even though that this version of making it is not the
Right.
simple way. Like I'll at some point in the future, I'll end up with one of those electric. I have friends that have like super expensive, like Traeger pellet cookers that they can run from their bedroom laying in bed on their phone.
Right.
Like I get it.
Yeah, but it'll never be as good.
No, it's and I don't know. I wouldn't feel the same way if I made something decent on one and
Right.
I like was hands off the whole time.
Well, that's why you have so much business. You are deciding to take the jump and do the scary thing and do it on your own. How far are you away from, like, leaving your job?
So I don't formally have an answer to that. Um, I'm going to. It's funny that we're doing this with a bunch of cameras and gonna put it on the internet because I haven't told them.
Oh, the way you told me, it sounded more official that you
It's officially going to happen. It's not something
right.
that I'm
You just like,
going to
I
backpedal
can't
on.
say sometime in the next
Well, you don't.
'cause you need
I
to give
think
them
that
a
I think there's a
handful.
smart, safe way of doing it where I want to do it in a respectful way and not be like walking in like yeah I'm out
Yeah,
of here.
fuck you,
Like
I've got my own shit now.
yeah, these people matter to me,
Yeah, you've
but
been there you
it's
said 17 years?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Um. So I got lucky and came across there is a commissary kitchen in right off a courthouse square.
Downtown Warren, everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No one's gonna know what that is anyway.
And it's called Delirium Pickling LLC. I met this couple, retired husband and wife, that started a small batch pickle brand, and I got to try them for the first time today. They were amazing, um, and built out a 2,000 square foot commercial kitchen that they also rent out as a commissary space. Food trucks aren't a massive culture here like they are in other cities, but that is a must in all the cities. Like in LA, I'm sure commissary kitchens are all over the
I'm
place because
sure, yeah.
there's
I
food
didn't know
trucks.
till you told me, like, that makes sense.
Food truck, yeah. You rent. It's a fully health department approved commercial kitchen that you rent out space in. You prep and cook all your food there. Load everything onto your truck or food trailer, and you go from there.
Mm,
So that way, it's just health regulations are being maintained, and it's not just like
yeah.
I got on my trailer and whipped up food that I'm gonna serve to the public,
Yeah, I'm
and
sure it's much better and easier too than being cramped in a little kitchen in a food truck and trying to do all that shit.
so
Then you're just serving.
one of the main things that made me not consider it as, like, a realistic possibility was thinking that I'm never gonna have the startup capital to open a restaurant,
Mm,
and the last thing I'm going to do, just because I wanna do it, is go and this is an option, but go to a bank and take out a business loan
yeah.
There's some statistic about like 90% of new restaurants fail inside the first year. And I don't have the data to support this claim, but I feel like that comes from you go and you borrow $1 zillion and you turn a brick and mortar into like what you've always pictured in your head. You invest everything into it and you make it this beautiful, cool spot. And then you open praying that there's going to be an audience for it.
Yeah.
And you're so in debt that I just didn't want to do it the debt way.
Yeah.
So like this new cooker, it was very expensive, but like we bought it. Have no payments, have no debt on it. We
Mhm.
own it. Um, we're gonna do the same thing with the food trailer.
Nice.
I want to start this with as little overhead as humanly possible. I'll be paying them rent for the hours, literally on an hourly basis when I'm cooking there. But she's so cool. She's like, I'm not gonna charge you for when you're cooking briskets. Cause I first said that I was like, so I can't imagine like I'm talking about stuff that like we had said, like sometimes 16 hours. And I'm gonna be
Yeah.
paying you hourly while I'm not getting paid
Yeah.
doing it, because the model will kinda be, I will have cook days, and then the next day will be the day I'm selling it and making money.
Yeah.
So it'll be a big life change where I'm in this headspace of when I go to work, I'm clocked in and I'm making the same amount of money each hour, and then when I leave, I'm not making money anymore. So it's intimidating and scary, the whole, like, it's all on me now,
Yeah.
and the money will happen in a different way. It's
Yes, going off the hourly thing is definitely a
right.
big weird jump.
Yeah, the hourly thing, the vacation pay thing, and, like, all that going away, it's like
Yeah, no, you're in charge of all that.
but then there's gonna be a lot of upside of, like, just the peace of mind of, like, being my own boss for the first time. I have to know what that's like.
Yeah, the pride of that is huge.
Yeah, and, I just I have a deep confidence in, like, how it'll do like, there's no guarantee I'm gonna be able to pull this off inside of a year, depending on when we buy the food trailer and getting all that approved and stuff, but, like, if I can serve it at one of the, like, L Leonard Skinner River Rock Saturday nights
Yeah.
to, like, 1,000 people, like,
Oh god, yeah.
it'll people will be walking through the crowd with a thing with a
Don't forget to
slice of
get
that
the
brisket
brisket.
on it. Yeah, like, that's how I wanna spend my time now.
Yeah. That
I I
especially the Leonard Skinner.
I wanna be able I wanna be able to, like, provide for my family with, like, really hard days, but doing something that's, like, making other people happy.
Right.
Like, sounds cheesy and all that, but, like,
It's not though.
it's it's 100% my path.
That's
Um,
and to see you doing it right and not taking on the debt and going, like, step by step, one thing at a time, and, not bringing in an investor or anyone you owe money to, not jumping to try to have the brick and mortar, and it's like, this is the right way to do it. Start with catering, food trailer, and catering, then who knows from there.
I want to my brother I almost got so pissed. I did get really pissed because I thought he meant it, but, less than a week ago, I told him, like, because everybody knows I've been doing this and, it's but, starting to tell people, like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I feel extra confident about it because, the people that I assumed were gonna be like, "Don't be stupid." I'm not getting that from anywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody's like
Well, they've tasted the meat.
so when I told my brother what I was gonna do, I got a text back. Love you, Lyle. You're not gonna see this, who cares? Um, hold on, I'll just read it to you, but I was just like he said, "Well, how about $10,000?" He was like, "Do you need an investor?" And I jokingly was like, "I'll take your money, sure." And then I was like, "No, we actually should be good, blah, blah, blah. These are my plans." And then he responds with, "Well, how about 10K? I get 50% until my initial investment is paid back, then 20 thereafter, and help whenever you need it. Think about it." And I was so goddamn offended. I was like, Can't be this much of an asshole. You can't be.
Yeah.
There's no
It's like a
way.
bad Shark Tank deal.
And then I took forever to, like, get less emotional about it, and then I sent him back this long, like, "No," in telling him why I don't want to do it that way, and bless his heart, his response was, "Okay, you passed the test. You're gonna kill it."
Nice.
I was, like, heartbroken. I was like, "I'm gonna hate him. I'm gonna hate him for the rest of my life if he's serious right now," like,
Yeah.
but those are the kind of opportunities that I see happen, like, I can imagine easily happening when it's like, you don't have the capital, somebody offers you the capital, but then whether you succeed or not, you owe them their money.
Yeah, and then they own a piece of it for doing shit after that.
You're gonna do all the work to give the money to somebody. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah. I already fucking do that.
And I yeah, the it has to go down this way, and kudos to Rob. He's such a good influence and, like, inspiration in a lot of this because the way he grew his business was 100% like that. He's never promoted publicly a day of
Yeah.
that being a thing, and he has literally, like, created a deep community.
Yeah, it's like
Like,
a full-on movement. I see stickers on cars every time I leave the house. It's awesome.
it really means a lot to people. It changes lives, and he scaled it conservatively and always told me quietly one day, he's like, "Own it all. Buy the next thing when you can afford the next thing.
Mm.
Grow when it's time to grow, not before." Just, like,
Yeah.
being this, like, calm rock, like, on my shoulder about it and just being, like, just speaking with such confidence, and
Yeah.
he would talk about it like it was this inevitability before I believed it, and that helped.
Yeah, and there's no rush, and doing it slow, one thing at a time. You learn more, you don't take unnecessary risk. What's that saying? Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 5. So it's like, just you're gonna be here in 5 years anyway, and if you didn't do it, 5 years still are gonna pass, and you look back and go, "Shit, I should have fucking done the thing."
Right.
So you might as well do it right too, because you go into debt, things go wrong, it derails it, you get demotivated, anything can happen. I think 90% of businesses failing, just period, I would believe that because people get an idea, they get lazy, something goes wrong, like, "Oh, this is too fucking hard." Or they were just thinking about the money and they weren't actually passionate about the thing, which happens with so many things. It looks fun. It looks, like, "Oh, I want that life and I want the freedom." Then you get into the real shit and you're like, "Oh, I need to get up at 4 in the morning. I have to have a real job while I do this on the side. I have to take care of the kids still, and then I'm not gonna be making the money I'm dreaming of for another 5 years." Like, it's just most people are not willing to go through that.
There are gonna be aspects of it where, like, I don't know what I'm asking for. Like, I haven't immersed myself in the ins and outs of the business side of it yet.
Yeah,
In terms of, like, the minutia around, um, profit margins and figuring out menus to optimize those things, like,
yeah.
the stuff that makes it less about the, like, passion and
Yep, that's the
more
shit that's
the
never
business,
fun.
and I'm mature enough to understand how deeply important all that's going to be,
Yeah,
and that's a side of it that will be new to me, but,
and then
like,
incorporating so you protect yourself from getting sued and all that kinda
yeah,
shit, like,
I can't wait, honestly, like, I want to,
and
like,
eventually you could hire someone to handle that shit,
yeah.
but at first you gotta do everything yourself. Fun. I'm proud of you, though. And I'm, like, not blowing smoke, pun intended, that the shit that you cook is fucking fantastic. The first time I came back from a second story window practice before I moved here, and
Yeah.
you made ribs, and I was like, "Can't wait to taste these fucking ribs. We'll see what he's really all about." And, like, all of us
Runs his mouth so much.
like, I live in Texas, we'll see what's up here, and, like, all of us were in the kitchen just like, "Holy fucking shit." Like, Joe would not shut up about it, and I was just like, "God damn, this is incredible." And I hadn't even had your brisket yet.
Those were off the kettle too.
Yeah.
I brought a kettle to my mom's and I did them in the garage at my mom's.
Yeah, and yeah, and I was like, I no shit, those were the best ribs I ever fucking had, like, ever. And everyone else in that kitchen that day can can
Those turned
verify.
out good. Those
Yeah,
ones were really good.
those were fantastic.
Ribs are hard to be consistent with. Like, it's easy you can knock out a couple of racks of ribs, but I can imagine I can envision the, fight of getting them as consistent as some other proteins that are
Yeah.
pretty predictable. Ribs are weird, but,
Yeah, and you made them for Gladdy and I too when she was here, and she said the same thing, and she grew up there, so,
yeah, I mean, she is Texan.
yeah. Texican.
That was, like, the most exciting, most important thing to me was, like, I need, like, friends and family here, I'm like, "Great, they love it, that means a lot to me." I was like, "But I need someone that has spent time there
Mhm.
to validate it for me."
Yeah.
Just to, like, just out of curiosity, because 'cause I'm like, I don't know. I almost, like, was dismissive of it because 'cause I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I need the people that really know
Yeah. I
to tell me whether I'm anywhere close."
I forgot to tell you my shit brisket story. So we I was, when Gladdy and I had split up for a while, and I was alone there just, like, trying to find shit to do, and I found this fucking, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre bar in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, "This place looks awesome."
Like, themed or
No,
just
no,
vibe-wise?
legit, like, shithole dive bar, band playing in the corner, some,
Squeaky
like
sign.
yeah, just a field around it and a dirt parking lot, and I was like, "This place looks awesome." I can't remember the name of it right now, but I looked and I don't know if it popped on my Instagram or whatever, but they were having some kind of, like, all-day music thing, a bunch of bands playing, and there's gonna be free brisket and, beer deals, whatever.
Texas is so cool.
So I was like,
So
"Fuck
cool.
yeah." So I told my one friend, Adam, I was like, "Do you wanna go to this thing? Like, I'm gonna go regardless." And he was like, "I might meet you there later." So I just went by myself. And I'm just drinking, watching the bands and, like, all these fucking, backwoods hillbilly Texas people. That was fucking awesome. Bikers and shit
Yeah.
like that. And the brisket guy's there. He's smoking brisket all morning, and smoker's there. And so we're waiting, and everyone's drunk and hungry, and, like, finally get it. And it was just a fucking tire. And I could not believe it.
It was
Like,
hours away from being done.
yeah. And, like, it was so fucking bad, it was insulting, and I'm not even a Texan, I'm over here like, "This is fucking bullshit," whatever, but, man, like, bad brisket is so bad. It's like
It's it's the toughest thing in the world, and that's
yeah, like, it was literally, like,
you know,
where your head jerks, like, that kinda thing. It was
that's the connective tissue in collagen. That's the stuff that you you can cook it hot and fast, and it'll get up to, like, food safe temperatures to where it's like, "Okay, this is done."
yeah,
But you didn't render any the whole game is just rendering fat and rendering collagen, turning it into collagen.
yeah,
And that's the magic of it, and that can't be done fast, that can't be done through extreme heat, it's time, time and consistency
yeah.
under
But
300
just, like, all
degrees.
those people there who live in Texas and know good brisket, and they're like, "Yeah, let's hire fucking Dale, the fucking dickhead that to come smoke that fucking shoe out back, just serving up like shoe soles. Fucking awful. Uh, have you been playing drums lately at all? Or is this taking up all your time?
Yeah,
Because I don't get to talk to you every week now that we're not
I know,
practicing.
the black kit is in the practice space, sitting there with those, like, chopped to shit cymbals
Oh yeah, I forgot.
still sitting on them. Um, no, not much at all. I have the pad kit in the basement of the house, and that thing's hard to play on by design,
Mhm.
so it's not as fun. If I had the drums at home,
Yeah,
I would probably play more, but I honestly haven't had like, no joke, since around Thanksgiving, I lost track of it was every weekend,
Yeah.
My 40 hours a week and then planning around buying the meat to cook over the weekend for the person to pick up on the Sunday,
Yeah.
and then I would just blink and be back at work on Monday. It happened week after week after week after week, and now there hasn't been time.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like, I when we're not doing anything with the band, like, and I don't have a bigger goal to, like, work towards, I just it's so hard to pick up and practice sometimes, and if I know, like, I leave those guitars out all the time because I know if I just walk by and pick one up, all of a sudden 2 hours will go by.
Right.
So I just gotta get started. But I've never been a practicer to sit down and, like, let me practice my scales. I
Yeah.
don't know any anyway, but, like, so I'll make those stupid Instagram videos of shit, but that's fun.
Those are the best. The the
Gives me
Ca the
something.
Chimera one really hit me.
I thought about you
I
as
was
soon
like,
as I was like, I did the one Chimera riff, like, a while back, and I was like, I just put on that, first album one day, and I was like, "God, the rest of that song is not very good, but that first minute is so fucking good." And I was just like, "I'm gonna do that one," and that one's for Nick for sure. And then you shared it.
I would flip to that all the time. That was, like, some of the best early morning g gym headphone
Yeah.
tunes ever.
It's funny, I'm getting comments, like, on YouTube and TikTok, and people are like, "This sounds like deathcore, it's not nu metal," or, "You should do something with, like, nobody knows who they are." And, like, some people do, or older guys, like Tony, what's his name up in Michigan, he commented, "Chimera," and, like, other people. But, like, it's
So
funny,
they know Chimera as in, like,
like, metal.
once they got big,
Yeah.
Chimera,
One
like,
kid literally said, "Chimera isn't nu metal," and I was like, 1, yes, the first 2 albums were, but, like, I don't even think you I'm like, "You don't hear the scratching from the DJ in this over that heavy
so
groove?"
there was yeah, the us being from Northeast Ohio and being firsthand a part of their, like, ascension
Yeah,
to I remember being at the, Odeon show where they announced they signed a Roadrunner,
yeah.
and everybody cheered like, we cheered like we were a part of it.
Mhm.
Um,
It felt like we were.
but when you say nu metal, I understand exactly what you meant because at the time, that was all that there was, and
Mm,
it's kind of indistinct, like, people would say, like, there was nu metal and then a band like Fear Factory, but now in hindsight, when you look back, they totally fit in as, like, a nu metal band,
yeah.
and Chimera was this rougher,
They were
um,
definitely more metal-y and
for
straight
sh
up metal,
for sure,
but they had, like,
but at the
the
time, everybody was that it was a vibe and, like, a fashion that kinda, like, played into what something got considered. I think of it as nu metal.
yeah.
Because,
They
like,
definitely
because we
weren't,
were all there with UFOs and
and so were they.
double XL tribal hoodies. Yes,
Mark,
100%,
the
the spiked
singer,
hair.
had dreads.
Yeah.
Jason Hagar had dreads. He was bent over like head and monkey, and they had a DJ and a sampler guy, and then Mark would do, like, the creepy whispery vocals. It was very nu metal.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
then later,
yeah,
yeah, they went more straight up metal.
it's on YouTube now, but anybody that challenges this, watch Chimera on Farm Club Dead Inside
Someone commented that too, yeah.
and tell me that that wasn't a nu metal band.
Yeah, 100% nu metal.
They threw in the machine gun
Which to me is not
double
a
kick
negative
parts
thing.
that
It's like,
yeah,
I like,
they were a nu metal band that threw in, like, machine gun double kick parts
yeah,
that really stood out, and you're like, "Oh, shit." It was like a bridge between the nu metal stuff and more traditional, because they were always heavily influenced by metal,
yeah.
Slayer and stuff like the stuff that we were a little too young for, just
I had never
didn't
heard
give a shit
anything
about.
exactly like what they were doing because we obviously love Slipknot, lots of double bass, but they didn't have those, like, chug parts with the
No.
start and stop, and, like, that was, like, a big influence on all of us. You for learning double bass,
Billion%. A
a
billion percent.
and, like, I think was Rob, they have Severed on a cassette tape demo or
When yeah,
something in his
when I
car?
when I joined the band, Rob had a Z24 and he had a neither band was signed. Um, it was a sample cassette. It had Chimera's demo of Severed, which I still prefer.
And
And
Switch
on
or
the other
Switch?
side There was another Cleveland band that also signed. They signed to like a major first, something like that. They were called like Switch or
Yeah.
Switched.
Yes, yeah.
And again, very new metal. They had like a DJ effects guy too, and it was like everybody was playing the part,
Yeah.
and it was just the era. And
Yeah, you guys got a sampler too, just because. Scott.
uh-huh. Yeah. I was thinking sampler like
Oh, yeah.
a dozen songs.
Before FASFA was FASFA, they were aphasia, and they had a sampler guy for a short time. At least was it a year.
At least. Yeah. Well,
That
no,
was
it
just
had
what you
it
did.
was so the band like I joined they were aphasia for in like a period of time. We fell in love with them. They put out a couple demos that were a big deal in our town to kids that went to shows. And then there was a long hiatus when Jeremy left and I joined the band. And when I first joined, we started out like the first month or so of practices, we were playing their, I'll call it an EP, like those demo songs like Timeline and
Yeah.
Anonymity and all those. Like we were playing those and messing around with new stuff, but then it quickly turned into this like, let's just write on the first show we played with me and the band. We never played any of
I was gonna
those,
say you never played any of that shit live.
No, the first show we did, we had like 10 songs, I think, something like that.
Is that at the
We only
VFW in
ever
Niles?
Yep.
Yeah, on
So
46,
we
right?
played one show before that. We played a bar in Youngstown, like a week before, and it was an 18 and over show. That's why we didn't really
Is that
consider it.
when your dad went with Rob to make a deal with the guy?
No, no, that was later. That was later. Um, I don't remember the name of the bar, but yeah, it was an 18 and over show. My brother and his wife were still dating at the time. They were there. I remember like we finished and my brother hugged me and was like actually crying because it was my first show.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Or like that. I did that Youth Gone Wild thing with Jamie and
Yeah,
Brady back
first,
in the
like,
day.
real show
Yeah.
at a venue.
I remember like that like turned into a core memory. I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
I got him." He's proud. It was one of those like he's not gonna say it,
Yeah.
but like I get it.
So, do you remember, speaking of Jason Hagar and that, we were trying to get a hold of Cole to get
Mm.
the original stems.
Has anybody? Has there
So
been any success on that?
so somebody, I forget
His
his
last name's
name.
Martinez, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to whoever messaged me. He found him on Facebook, and then I told Sean, and Sean ended up talking to him. But he lost the hard drive. He lost everything. So the Robinson,
Could you imagine that computer still existing though?
he
Like,
could have it on a hard drive.
but I
Always.
mean, yeah, like
yeah. But of
I
course,
could totally see
yeah,
how you don't value things at the time. CDs you wish you would have kept.
yeah. It's like
You know,
these
it's like
bands aren't going anywhere.
right.
So he lost the hard drive, doesn't know where it is, or maybe he said it was like cooked or something. I don't know. But so we lost the Fastwood EP, we lost the Robinson stems, everything. But I fucking with AI now, I was curious and I was like, let me see what I could do. So I went in and I took a few songs and I split all the stems out and it fucking worked.
I don't even know what you mean.
So
What's a stem?
a stem is like guitar track, drum track,
Okay.
whatever. So I put Challenge of Caring into AI and it split it, and I have just your drums, just the vocals, just
What?
guitar, everything. So I wanted you to hear it. And then I did, even though Jocko probably has Delinda songs, I did a couple of those too, just because I was curious. Okay, here's the Challenge of Caring, drums only. There's some artifacting, but it's pretty good.
Right. Tempos all over the place. There's Chimera.
Yeah. So you haven't heard it like this since you recorded.
Both Delenda and Conversations, I, at a point, had drums only burnt CDs of, but never the EP. That's crazy.
Let's do, I figured this one would be fun. Dark Water. The songs sound good. I never noticed that ride like that.
Weirdest beats ever in this song.
You can hear every influence you have. So I sent this to Gladdy earlier, or I have Soft Green Fields too. And she was like, I understand now why you admire his drumming so much. I've never heard it like this. And she literally said something like fucking psychopathic. Like, what a talent.
Aw. I love you, Gladdy.
And then I did one because I wanted to hear Will's pretty voice by itself.
It's 3 o'clock and we're waiting for it to rain. And I'm planning our escape to the places we can go, and to the shores that we call home. Well, surely we can make it out of here. You know that we will never be
So
clear.
good.
All the feelings they'll harbor. Well, yeah, I'd rather not bother to feel lonely all the time.
So it even pulled out the delay effects. Like,
I didn't. That's how like um uninvolved with most
yeah,
stuff you can do technology wise. Like, this is my computer.
yeah.
Essentially, like that's
I mean,
all
it
I've
is
got.
your
I've got an
computer.
iPad, but like I don't do anything.
Like, so I knew there was one around before I used for Robinson, and I pulled his drums out, and it's called AI or whatever.
That'd
But
be insane.
it was funny, like all of the yeah, his sounded pretty good too with that fucking recording and our guitars. I could not believe it was able to separate it. It's insane. But like Will's voice sounds pretty good there. There's some like shit. It's kind of like it's trying to pull the cymbals out of the high end and shit. So
That always does that. It creates that almost like digital
yeah,
sheen
yeah.
that you get.
But
Almost.
like I promise you, when we were in that studio, he sounded even better than that.
Yeah.
Like, and that even makes it sound like there's some like auto tune shit going on, which we didn't do.
No, that was the like um the intentional kind of want from his vocals on that was like, because it was obviously far more melodic than we had done before, but
Yeah.
we were like raw though.
Yeah, we wanted raw. He didn't do a ton of doubling. We didn't want that like phasey kind of effect. Um, but that is so impressive that it's like separate the vocals and it keeps the delay artifacts in that. Like it's just, and the funny thing is I was like, I wonder if Chat GPT can do this shit yet. So I went on there and I didn't want to pay for another service. I was like, can you separate music stems from songs? And it's like, sure, just upload the file. And I put it in and it couldn't do it. And, like, I would put in an MP3 and just be blank, and I just kept trying it over and over, and it's like, "The file's not coming through, please try again." So I put it in. I was like, "Are you sure you can do this?" And it's like, "Actually, I can't do that. I'm sorry I alluded to it." I was like, "What the fuck?" So, we're not quite at Terminator yet, but there's some really impressive shit happening. That's for sure.
Scares me. Scares me.
It is, and I don't know who to believe because I watch a lot of podcasts on this shit, and a lot of people, I feel like they're high off their own supply, and there's just a circle jerk of like AI in 5 years, everything's gonna change, and
Right, like, could it be a lot dumber than everybody's, like,
yeah,
trying to sell? Because I keep seeing all the time now, like, the AI bubble where they're overselling it
yeah,
as the next biggest thing, almost like the dot-com shit was
it's the
back in the
same
day.
thing, yeah.
Yeah,
And the dot com and the internet still ended up being the biggest fucking thing in the world,
right.
but I don't know, it's just, are we 50 years away from that, or is it really like Elon says next year we're gonna hit AGI?
Yeah.
Which is like, I know it's coming regardless. I kinda wanna see it in my lifetime because it will change the world. I mean,
It just
AGI
depends on how
how
this shit
yeah,
gets rolled out.
and
Like,
then
what kind of state the world's in
and then
for it to roll out.
I always say, yeah, the AI might be smart as fuck, but the robotics aren't there yet. And then I saw the video from China. Did you see that?
Which one?
I forget what it's like some ceremony or whatever. Like there's a bunch of young kids doing karate and there's a bunch of fucking robots doing it with them. Like free flowing, smooth movements. They're doing acrobatics or whatever. And I'm like, oh, never mind. So put the AI in that, and then we're already almost there. And that I was worried. I was like, is this an AI video? And it wasn't. It was real. So I don't know. I
I
don't
love how there's that moment with every video you see where it's like, if it's bad, you're like, "I hope to God this is fake." But if it's good,
yeah.
you're like, "Please don't be fake."
Well, you have to have that filter on now in, like, everything you see, even if it's just a tweet. Like, is this real? Is this photo real? Is that video real? Like, screenshots of the Epstein files, people are faking those. Like, everything you see, you have to double check, and, like, if I'm on X, you can use Grok now right in the corner. You just hit the Grok button, and it'll analyze it and go, "No, that's bullshit." 'Cause it can just search the entire internet in 3 seconds and tell you, "Oh, that's verified by these sources," and then if it says it's real, you can go show me where you got that, and it's really great for that stuff.
Yeah, I'll just scroll. I don't
Yeah.
try to figure it out. I just if I feel like anybody that in this day and age with all of the disclosures and the file dumps and the Epstein stuff, like, to feel confident that you know anything anymore. That you can, because like, people see all this stuff and people that were always very hesitant on the conspiracy side of things, so many things, like,
Oh, yeah.
we're, like, out I saw somebody the other day that was like, "There's only, like, 4 left."
Since 2020, everything came true, and, like, the Alex Jones was right jar is full.
But, like, to assume, like, to be able to, with any kind of confidence, be like, "Oh, come on, well, that part's fake." It's like, I just I know enough to know that I have no idea what I don't know
Yeah.
anymore, and it's too much. Part of me is just like, it's too much by design.
Hmm. I
Because
unplugged.
what's the perfect thing? How do you successfully prevent people from creating any kind of meaningful resistance? Is like, keep them from being able to agree on what's true in the
Yeah.
first place.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
And we're not exactly a unified population right now.
No. The mainstream media needs to be dismantled, and social media is terrible for everybody, uh, but, like
I wonder if we'll get to a, like, post-social media era where we'll look back on it
that was so bad
as,
for
like,
everybody.
remember when it was like we all had one and it was how we all communicated, it was how we all got our news, and
I think it's
remember
gonna
how sketchy things were?
I think it's gonna come from when this is no longer the thing. when it's in your head or it's a contact lens or whatever, and like people are gonna like it'll just be part of like whatever, but this will be like an ancient thing, like to where everyone used to be like this will be an old thing because it'll just be in your fucking head or whatever. But I think there is because of like AI and all the fake shit you see, there's like people are starting to come around to like, I want to do real things in person again. And I want to like, there's kind of like a movement behind that. But
Yeah, you
um,
see like young kids like generationally discovering
yeah.
gritty bands and raw productions.
Yeah.
And
Like
going like,
our era
oh,
of music has become popular again. And like, it's really cool to see. And like people are getting flip phones and stuff. So they don't have the, they can't just scroll
I
nonstop.
never had. I'm envious of people. Kathy always like very nostalgically. Anytime like what was it, Motorola Razor gets brought up, she's always like, "Oh, it's the best phone ever." Like
For Gladdy, it was our BlackBerry.
I never had
The
the
clicky
I
buttons.
didn't have the Razor. I didn't have. Zach was like the first one that I remember having the thing that was like.
The sidekick?
Is that what it was?
I
Where
think so.
it was
Where, like
rectangular, but when you would push down on a thing on the top, the screen would
think
like flip up,
I think it was
and then
the
you had like a
sidekick.
keyboard underneath it.
Yeah, I never had that either.
I went from like just this thin little thing forever.
I remember
I
when,
feel like I was one of the last of our whole group to eventually get a smartphone
I waited
because
a
I just
long
didn't care
time.
enough.
I didn't get one until, like, 2010 or 11.
I'm always apprehensive about adding the new convenience that I don't need currently.
Yeah, and then you won't.
And then it becomes something that you can't live without. And it's
Exactly.
like, I don't wanna get any softer. I like, I'm cool with un
Yeah, like, this can already do everything you ever need in your life. Your news, your weather, your banking, your call someone, it's a camera, it's a fucking the best, like, I bought 3 of these to do this podcast. Those were the cameras that we're using, and they look just as good. Like, I spent over an hour on the phone with my friend, Nick. Shout out Nick Nicotera. He's an awesome videographer and editor and does all this professional shit. So when I was, like, looking into getting better stuff, I'm like, "What kind of cameras should I buy?" Like, I don't have the money to, like, get expensive shit, and you get into lenses, and it gets so ridiculous, and he goes, "Just fucking get iPhones." He's like, "Half the time I'll go on a job, like, I could do an
Yeah, you
iPhone."
don't think of it as, like, something you can buy that you don't have to use like a phone.
Yeah, and I talked to Sean, and I was like, "I could just buy one, right? I don't have to get it, like, a number," and what he's like, "Yeah, you can just people just buy them for
We had
cameras
one
all
for
the time."
Oscar just for his,
Yeah, just
blood
connect
sugar.
to Wi-Fi and
Yeah, so he's an 8-year-old walking around with this, like, baller-ass iPhone, but it has no data, it can't
yeah,
do shit unless he's on Wi-Fi.
and the cameras look fucking great. I got these lenses, they were only, like, $150, and, yeah, for what I need it for, like and I'm looking up shit, and it's like I'm like, "What does Joe Rogan use for his podcast?" It's, like, nothing crazy. His doesn't even look that great. It's just dudes talking. Who gives a shit? Like, why do I need to do, like, 4K fucking cinematic shit? Like, Chris Williamson, I love
I
his
don't need to be
podcast.
in 4K.
No. He does a great job of that, but I'm like, I don't think I want that.
Before we
It's too
switch to
much.
4K, can we take a quick break so I can take a piss?
But absolutely. Alright, so we're back from pee break. Let's do something fun before we get out of here.
Let's, yeah.
Alright, we're gonna play Drummer King of the Hill.
Oh god.
So I'm just gonna give you 2 names. You pick the one you like better, and we'll go down the list, and we'll try to narrow it down to 1 drummer, and it doesn't have to turn out to be, like, your favorite drummer of
Yeah,
all
I've
time.
seen these where, like,
Yeah.
one guy will last for a while and it changes and yeah.
Alright, Travis Barker or Trey Cool?
You're gonna make me say Travis Barker 9 times. Um,
I'm gonna do it different, so it's not gonna be.
so for the sake of time, you need me to just give you answers, not elaborate.
You can elaborate a little bit, but
Both massively influential to me. Trey was the first drummer that I learned, like, hand speed from. Um, Dookie and Insomniac and Nimrod were front to back, played on a daily basis records for me as a kid prior to, like, heavier music becoming a thing. That being said, if anybody's playing resonated with me throughout every period of my life more, it's Travis Barker. I wish he hadn't turned into, like, the biggest, like, zillionaire celebrity reality
Yeah.
Kardashian guy. When I see him in like the stuff he wears these days, I cringe for an extended period of time. I miss him like looking like a dirtball punk, but knowing he's just like a wildly talented zillionaire that's just killing it,
Yeah, that's much
that
cooler.
hustled. Anyway, Travis, I'll say Travis.
All right. Next one, I'm gonna give you different ones each time, and then we'll go back. So,
I thought it was like the
no,
whoever
because I
you,
knew you would just do
whoever
him
you
all
pick,
the way
it'd
down.
be yeah, I'd be
So
impressed.
I figured this would make it different and harder. So next round we'll do John Otto or Morgan Rose.
Morgan Rose has been more consistent over the entirety of their career. John Otto
Grooves for days.
grooves and is one of those. So there's only a handful I can ever think of where you hear him for a second and you know who it is. I'll pick John. Guys play drums for a lifetime and don't come up with one trademark beat, and he's
Yeah.
got a lot.
All right. Next, Vinnie Paul or Lars.
Lars.
Ooh. John Bonham or Keith Moon.
Bonham. I like Keith Moon. I
don't like the Who, but I love Keith Moon.
right. Both iconic bands, but they were both bands that like it was hard for me to get past my dislike for their singers, both of them. But I saw this really cool punk rock thing about Keith Moon's playing where he didn't use a hi-hat. He would have a crash to crash on at like hi-hat level.
What the fuck?
And it would just be a big ass washing cymbal right next
I
to
never knew that.
watch old footage like TV shows and
I know
stuff.
he was a maniac, but I didn't know that.
He was so sloppy, but it was fantastic.
Yeah. Too bad he wasn't in a better band. Dave Grohl or Taylor Hawkins. R.I.P.
I don't even think Dave Grohl would argue with Taylor Hawkins as a more proficient drummer. Dave Grohl was the reason I started playing music. There's more emotion to what he does that I think means more than ability behind like his Nirvana tracks.
Yeah. I can see that.
And the first two Foo Fighters records. The Color and the Shape, the second Foo Fighters record. So that was the perfect placeholder for me of falling in love with music at like 11 years old, 95, and it being like we just missed Nirvana as being like a band that was current,
Right.
you know? And within a year or two, there's the Foo Fighters. And I didn't know right away until the second album came out that it was still Dave, because I mourned getting to have new albums of Dave playing drums because I didn't realize they were him at first.
Mm.
And then ahead of Color and the Shape, I knew that it was him, and it got to be a brand new thing that was a current thing, and it was my all-time favorite drummer.
Right.
That album is GOAT.
I forgot he played on the first two.
But he plays everything on the first record.
Right.
It's literally just him.
All right. Mike Portnoy or Danny Carey?
Carey. Mike Portnoy doesn't mean I know how good he is. I'm aware. Never meant a thing to like Dream Theaters. I never spent 10 seconds.
I tried. And
I've seen videos like Drumeo stuff and things like that, but like Tool is an all-time favorite band for me. I know they like largely missed you.
Yeah.
When I go into a Tool phase, I fall in for like weeks. Where they're one of those bands for me where it's like when it like comes back up and clicks hard, I struggle to like get out of picking their albums.
They just nothing ever hooked me. I know they're good. That have their songs I do like, but like I just never go, I want to put on a Tool record.
Dude,
Just something about it.
Lateralis with your earbuds in. Like, come on.
I've never done it.
Dude.
Maybe I should smoke weed and do it, even though I quit that years ago.
Freak out.
Yeah, probably a bad idea.
But just from like a production standpoint, as somebody that like gets into that. Like,
I didn't have a good opponent for the next one, so I already know the answer, but I couldn't not put him on here. So, Joey Jordison or Anders Herrick?
I love them both. Yeah, Joey.
Abe Cunningham or David Silverio? I knew this was a good one.
This is, I guess, for fairness, Abe gets it off of longevity alone,
Fair.
but dude, come on. Like, that's a really good toss-up of, I guess it would be David, and, like, who was more influential in that era? Who inspired more drummers? But I guess it might it would very likely go to David just because they were much bigger. But, like, back to the John Otto, Abe Cunningham, both of them. I can say this evenly about both of them. They were both those, like, you know who it is immediately.
Mm.
And David on the first 4 Korn records, it was as meaningful as any musician's ever been to me. And it's impossible to pick because it's weird. It's like it deserves to go to Abe because Abe puts out albums still, and there's good stuff on it. I wish I love Deftones more than I should, and like it's unfair to them how much I expect
Yeah,
because I they don't owe me shit.
I'm the same way.
But it's just I feel like for albums now, they're making the records because what else are they gonna do? But I don't remember the last time I felt like they were inspired to make it. It was like they're reluctantly
Yeah.
making Deftones songs.
I kind of feel the same way. They're phoning it in a bit, but it's still not bad.
No, it's not. But I mean, I put on something from Follow the Leader. Got to be on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
I don't need extreme shit. I don't need brutal shit. I need a groove that like gets into my soul.
Yeah, make me feel something.
Dude.
That's what I always say. All right, so David or Abe, did you
Oh
decide?
shit, I didn't pick. I'll say David.
All right. I knew that would be a tough one. So Danny Carey or Travis Barker?
Travis Barker.
Okay.
That's just from an irrational love. At this point, I know I mean, they're both proficient as hell.
All right. Let's do Dave Grohl or Lars? John Otto or John Bonham?
I'll just own my age.
Joey Jordison or David Silveria? That's tough because I haven't liked a Slipknot album in how many years either. But I mean, he hasn't been on them since when he died.
No, but he got pretty uninspired too. Like All Hope Is Gone seemed like he got really comfortable, people telling him how good he was,
Yeah,
and stopped like progressing.
make that money.
In terms that is hard, but in terms of like just a favorite, I can listen to Korn more than I can listen to Slipknot.
Well, I didn't do good math, so now there's 3 left. Dave Grohl, Travis Barker, or David Silveria?
I'll give it to my OG favorite, Dave Grohl. As an if it kind of has to boil down to who's my all-time favorite,
Yeah.
I can very comfortably state that.
I knew you loved him. I kind of forgot he was your all-time favorite, but
I mean, he was the most consequential. It was, I think I told that on the first episode we did. It was the Nirvana footage at Brady's house that his dad had.
That
That
big
was,
ass floor tom.
As a rack tom. Yeah.
Mhm.
His rack tom was like a 16-inch floor tom.
That's incredible.
Amazing. Amazing. And just, he hit so hard that he would hold his sticks upside down back in the day.
We're almost done, buddy. Come here. You want to wrap it up with me, or just rub on the camera?
You should have thrown in some more contemporary.
I was gonna do Shannon Lucas versus someone else, and then it got too long.
You were gonna do who?
Shannon Lucas,
Oh, the
old school
BDM
Black
dude.
Dahlia drummer. Yeah, but I wanted most of them to be like emotionally hard to choose instead of like, oh, that guy's really good. That guy's really good. But like ones that really cut deep. Before we get out of here, you still don't have a name for your business, right?
I
Like
do.
you said on. Oh, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here we are. A first.
Super unique, super creative. Huffman's Woodfire Barbecue.
Fucking perfect. That was
Didn't I send you the?
You did. I didn't know if that was a for sure it though, because you sent me a couple names. I thought.
So, dude, yeah. So it was between that and the last one that we had stuck to for a while. Kathy said it and was just like, "No, that's got to be it." Was Blue Canopy Barbecue,
Oh yeah.
and that was because the first handful of times when I did a couple like test things where I made a brisket, some ribs, and pulled pork, and then sides, and then I sold like $25 meals to people at work,
Yeah.
and had like a dozen people that came, and it was always like, look for the blue canopy, because it would be set up in the driveway over
Right.
the cooker, and
That's a good one
Kathy
too.
heard me say it too many times and was like, Blue Canopy Barbecue.
Like I said, just put it in the logo.
I worked on something like that with that a little bit. We just haven't like minded any further.
Mm.
But that one logo just like stopped me dead when you'd convince me to like flirt with Gemini for a second.
Yeah.
And
You'll get some good ideas.
It gave me some like uninspired slop. And I had even said to Kathy, I'm like, I just need it to be something that the moment I see it, it's like unmistakably no reservations. That's it.
Just keep going until you have that.
We do.
Oh yeah. Would you send me that exact one?
Maybe not.
I remember one similar. I love the blue. That's nice. That looks good.
Yeah.
And professional. Yeah. I dig it.
I like those traditional places, the places that are like these timeless old, somebody's grandpa started it and it was just named after him kind of thing. And it's like, this isn't some generational thing, but like, who knows? Been thinking about my dad a lot lately, and I love the idea of his name potentially like having,
That's a good point. Yeah.
making noise in his town, like,
Yeah.
feels good.
I love that. My
Yeah.
first thought was definitely go with your last name because of all the reasons.
Yeah.
And it's just
It was just,
badass to have your last
I was
name.
trying to avoid being like as such a fan of the whole Franklin thing, and we talked about him a lot. I just felt like I was just to a certain extent like trying to emulate, and then I didn't want to do that. But it's couldn't get more original than your own name,
Yeah. All right. Well, for anybody in the area, the general area, Ohio, PA, keep an eye out for Huffman's Woodfire Barbecue.
I promise it's actually coming soon.
It is actually coming soon. And I've had it and it's fucking amazing. So you will not regret it for any of your catering needs, or hopefully you'll be at an event this summer with the trailer, right?
Depending on when I get it and how long like licensing take, blah blah blah. But yes, that's 100% the goal.
That shouldn't take long. So no Instagram or anything yet, but you can follow Nick at Elmo_Huffman on Instagram and keep an eye out for everything else. And thank you very much, sir. It's good to see
This
you.
is a blast. We hadn't caught up in a minute, and shame on us.
We needed it. Without having band practice every week, we don't get to do this. So I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you.
Thanks, buddy.
And I can't wait to have some more meat in my mouth. If you made it to the end with us, thanks everybody for listening. Remember to hit the subscribe button. Please share it with a friend. And I am old, so I didn't know there's actually a hype button now on YouTube that came out last year, I think. It's better than a like. You only get 3 of them per week. So if you're stoked on a video, you can hit the hype button. It'll help me even more to reach more people, I guess. So, yeah. there's a hype button now, but it's hard to find. You might have to do it on your phone if you're on a computer or something. So thank you. Fuck off. See you on the next one.